Hello everyone, it's GEAUX STROS. It looks like we are live right now, and today we have on the agenda Game 2, the Astros series at Kansas City, facing the Royals. Astros dropped game number 1 in extremely disappointing fashion, 2-0. The Royals got both of their runs on sacrifice hits. They were able to scratch together just enough to get some runs on the board. They only needed one ultimately, but the Astros couldn't even manage that at the plate. Just a few hits for the entire game. An extremely disappointing batting outing for the Astros, although the pitching was there, only giving up 2 runs, but even then, those were hard fought. On defense, the Astros they looked wonderful, but on offense, lethargic, disinterested. I'm going to take a moment to double check my live stream, make sure it's going well. Seems fine, but yes, it is going just fine. Daniel Berry Sports says, "Go Astros." Thank you for being here, Daniel. Go Astros indeed. Framber Valdez is on the mound today, pitching for the Stros. Let's take a look at Framber's stats so far. They don't look so good, but that's a little deceiving. He's 1-2 with a 4.5 ERA. 28 innings pitched, 26 strikeouts, 27 hits. That's quite a bit. Almost a hit per inning. 11 walks. So 27 hits and 11 walks and 2 home runs. That's quite a bit. Wacha's numbers. Michael Wacha is who Framber is going up against. He is actually 0-3 with a 4.15 ERA. 26 innings pitched, 24 hits allowed, 20 strikeouts, 10 walks, and 1 home run. His numbers are not any better than Framber. It's a pretty even matchup, it looks like. Let's take a look at the Astros lineup now. Altuve is going to be back out in left field. He's batting first, followed by the DH, Yordan Alvarez. Isaac Paredes batting third, followed by Jeremy Pena, Christian Walker, Yainer Diaz, who's catching today, Zach DeCenzo, who's in right field today, Jake Myers in center, and Dubon in left. Cam Smith is notably not in the game today. Curious about that. The crowd boos just a little bit as Altuve steps into the box. Here comes the first pitch. This one's hit hard, straight to the third baseman, who fires it over to first for the first out of the game. So 1 pitch, 1 out. Altuve going after the first pitch, trying to make something happen, similar to yesterday, making hard contact but hitting it straight to a player. 1 away. Alvarez will come to the plate with no one on. Yordan showing bunt. Very interesting. Yordan showed bunt and then pulled back, but it's a strike, so it's 0-1. Here's the pitch. Next pitch is a curveball. Bottom kind of fell out of that. Yordan swings and misses for strike 2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Wacha. Yordan calls timeout. Steps out of the box. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Yordan. Swing and a miss. Foul tip into the glove of the catcher. Jordan goes down in 3 straight pitches. Don't like the look of this start. Astros picking out where they left off. Altuve grounding out on 1 pitch. Jordan striking out on 3. The hot guy so far the past couple of series has been Isak Britt as he comes to the plate now. Takes that one right down the middle for strike 1. Fastball right in there. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Another one right in there. Check swing. 86 mile per hour slider. Wacha hasn't thrown a single ball yet. He's thrown 6 strikes. And he has 2 outs. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Right in the middle, strike 3. Can you believe that? What a joke. What a joke of a first inning. 3-pitch strikeout on Britt. 3-pitch strikeout on Jordan. And a ground out to Altuve. At least Altuve got the bat around on the ball. Give him credit. That was quite a ridiculous beginning to the game. 3 up and 3 down. 7 pitches. All strikes. Wacha didn't throw a single ball. Paredes went down looking. Jordan went down swinging. And Altuve grounded out. So this first inning looks like what would have been the 10th inning of the game yesterday, right? Framber Valdez is on the mound for the Astros, of course, and he'll be facing Jonathan India in just a moment, followed by Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez. Framber taking his last warm-up throw. Of course, everybody who knows Framber knows that his main thing is the ground ball and double play percentage. Right now, currently at 52%. It has fallen off just a little bit recently. It was as high as 60% last year. Here comes the first pitch to India. Just a little low and inside, the first ball of the game. One and oh's the count. Here comes the pitch. That one is taken outside, at least 6 inches out of the zone. That's funny. Wacha threw nothing but strikes. 7 straight strikes in the top of the first. And the bottom of the first, Valdez has thrown only balls. Wow, that's another one in the bottom of the zone, but he was not given that pitch by the umpire. Ball 3. Next one is basically in the same spot but called a strike by the umpire. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the next pitch. Too low, ball 4. India doesn't have to do anything, just stand there and take pitches. 5-pitch walk. And the Royals have a leadoff runner. So apparently this outfield in this park is huge, second in all MLB. Bobby Witt Jr. is at the plate. He takes the first pitch outside. He probably won't have to swing the bat if Fromber keeps pitching like this. 5 balls now thrown by Fromber and just 1 strike. Here's the next pitch. That's in the dirt. Curveball missing by a lot. Another ball. 2-0 is the count. Fromber took a stroll around the mound, and now he's back up on the rubber. Here's the pitch, right in there. 92-mile-per-hour sinker. 2-1. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. High and outside, ball 3. The sinker at 92 miles an hour missing. Witt takes a break out of the box. Now he's back in. Here comes the 3-1 pitch from Valdez. Right in the bottom of the zone. Hilarious. It was called a strike, and Witt was about to run to first. It's a full count now, but the funny thing about that pitch is that the umpire has called that one a ball twice. And now a third time. But a couple of other times called it a ball. Well, Witt has a hit. I had a little connection issue there, but Witt has a hit straight down the third base line on the ground. Actually right to the left of Paredes. Altuve brings it in as quick as he can, but because Witt is so fast, he turns it into a double. Kansas City now has runners on second and third with no outs. Had a similar situation happen yesterday, early in the game. Runners on second and third with no outs. MLB site giving me some headaches. Salvador Perez comes to the plate. First pitch to him is on the way in just a moment. Here it comes. Check swing. Did he go? They say he did not. He's safe there. Ball 1. Perez batting .220 for the season. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one was a full check swing. He went all the way around. Evens the count 1-1. Curveball fooling him. Guess nobody's interested in the KC game today, it seems. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. High and outside, ball 2. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Man, that was a terrible changeup, low and inside. Perez just went after it, tried to golf it out of the dirt. I'm surprised he went after that one. Counts even 2-2 with no outs. Here's the pitch. Fouled off into the crowd on the first base side. The count remains 2-2. Runners on second and third here in the bottom of the first. Frommer giving up a walk and a double. 2-2 against Salvador Perez. Here's the pitch. Right in the middle of the zone, a curveball hit high in the air. Dubon puts it away for out number 1. Dubon at second base today. Got 1 out. Mark Canha comes to the plate. Right-handed batter to face Framber Valdez. Here comes the pitch. This is hit hard out into right field. That's going to be catchable this for DeCenzo, but they're going to be tagging. Both runners are going to move up. And that's the first run of the game for the Royals, 1-0 on the sacrifice fly to right field. All of the Royals' runs in this series so far have come on sacrifices. All 3 runs. 2 in the first game and 1 in this one. Michael Garcia comes to the plate with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. That one gets inside the outer corner of the zone for strike 1. Good pitch by Valdez. Here comes the next pitch. Hits straight up in the air. Is it going to be playable? Walker's over right by the dugout, and he makes the play with a basket catch. Holy cow. What a good read by Christian Walker. He ran over there very fast, got underneath where the ball was coming down, and then made a basket catch for out number 3 in foul territory. Pro play right there. Good job. We go to the top of the second with the Astros down 1-0. We'll see if they can come up with something. Start actually hitting the ball. 1 hit, 1 run for the Royals in the first, and they strand Witt on third base. Jeremy Pena is due up in just a moment, along with Christian Walker and Yainer Diaz. Altuve in left, Myers in center, DeCenzo in right. Interesting. They could have had Altuve at second, had DeCenzo in left, and Cam Smith in right. They could have done that. I wonder why not. 4 people following along. Starting to grow a little bit. Some of these games just don't attract the viewers like some of the other games, I feel. I know for sure I can see it. But as an Astros fan, I don't quite understand that, actually. Whoever they're playing, if I'm able to, I'd like to see it. So it doesn't, I don't avoid a game or want to see a game more or less because of who they play. I'm just more concerned about seeing the game and watching them win. First pitch to Jeremy Pena is outside for ball 1. One and 0. Here's the pitch from Wacha. This is sky high. Hit sky high. Shortstop comes in behind India at third and picks it up for the first out. Jeremy Pena flies out. And that was a towering fly ball. Probably would have been a home run if he had straightened it out. Only the second time the Astros have gotten the bat on the ball since the game started. No hits yet. Christian Walker comes to the plate, and here's the first pitch to him. Keep having the connection issue with the MLB TV here. One strike to Walker. Here comes the second pitch. That's fouled away. 0-2. I didn't get to see the first pitch. Watch it come set. Here's the delivery. The bottom fell out of that pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes with that ball in the dirt. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. This is hit hard to left field. That might be all the way to the wall, and it is. It bounces off the wall in left field. Walker's headed around first. He'll have himself a double. Nice. A 1-hopper line drive off the wall in left field. Christian Walker comes through with a nice hit off a 79-mile-per-hour changeup. That ball landed almost on the warning track, took 1 hop and hit the wall. 1 out, runner in scoring position. Yainer Diaz at the plate. Another changeup from Wacha, but that one is low and outside for ball 1. Walker was way out in front of that pitch. 1 ball, no strikes to Yainer. Here's the pitch. Another changeup, but that one misses high. 2 balls, no strikes. Yainer batting 173 for the season, trying to get that up over 200. He hits this one straight up on the infield. It's going to be playable by Garcia at second base, and that's out number 2. So Pena and Yainer fly out to the infield. Walker remains on second, and that brings up Zach DeCinzo. DeCinzo started to catch fire against the Blue Jays, and so Espada has worked him back into the lineup. Didn't help the Astros yesterday. Here comes the first pitch from Walker. Fouled back, 94-mile-per-hour fastball. They're not actually telling me the pitches right now. They're just telling me the speed. Usually they tell me the pitch. Here comes the next pitch, speaking of that. Fouled back. I don't even see the speed right now. They're not giving me that information. They're being a little inconsistent with the game data right now. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs, and Walker on second base. Here's the pitch from Waka. Way outside and in the dirt for ball 1. 1-2. th pitch of the game coming up in just a moment for Waka. He's been relatively efficient. Here's the 1-2. High and outside. Ball 2. Good take by DeCinzo. Not a bad looking at bat so far. Swinging at the strikes, taking the balls. Waka steps off the mound. He'll take a little break. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. In the dirt. Full count. First sign of chinks in the armor for Michael Wacha. Jake Myers is on deck. Full count for DeCenzo. Here comes the pitch. Right in there and sky high. Another pop-up. This should end the inning. Shortstop is under it. And Witt takes it for out number 3. 3 pop-ups this inning to the infield. Jeremy Pena popping up. Yainer Diaz popping up. And Zach DeCenzo popping up. Astros had a runner on second with 1 out and weren't able to move him around even a little bit. We go into the bottom of the second. Astros down 1-0. Framber Valdez up to 20 pitches already, just in the first inning alone. Pitching like this, he won't last 5 innings. He'll be facing Hunter Renfroe, followed by Vinny Pasquantino and Freddie Fermin. I hope you're all doing wonderful wherever you are today. Road Jogan. Interesting name. Thanks for covering this game, sir. You are welcome. Not as popular a matchup, it seems, for Astros fans. Very low viewer count on these games. Not nearly as high as some other teams. But I committed to doing this one, so here we are. Tomorrow's game is going to be a little more difficult. It starts just after 3 in the morning. I'm in Japan, so time difference sometimes is pretty difficult. Framber is back up on the rubber. Hunter Renfroe steps to the batter's box. Here comes the first pitch. Just a little outside on that slider. Or that was a changeup. Ball 1. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. Right in there and grounded to Dubon. And he fires over to first to get him just in time. Good play by Dubon. Charging that ball and getting it over to first in time and 1 away. Another ground ball out for Framber. Next batter is Hunter Renfroe. He fouls that one off. Right down the first baseline. Strike 1. I'm sorry, Vinny Pasquantino. Renfroe was the first batter. Information on the screen was not updated. Next pitch just barely misses low and inside on a sinker. Evens the count 1-1. Here comes a 1-1 in the dirt. 85-mile-per-hour slider, ball 2. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. This is grounded just foul. It trickles less than halfway to first base. Strike 2. The count is even. Must be pretty chilly up in Toronto. I see some people in the stands wearing gloves. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Pasquantino checks. Did he go around? They say he did. He went around, and that's going to be a strikeout for Fromber. Out number 2. Freddie Fermin at the plate. 78-mile-per-hour curveball right in there for strike 1. Yainer Diaz throws the ball back over Fromber's head. He has to get another ball. 0-1 is the count with 2 outs, no runners on. Here's the pitch. This one's hit into left field. Should be playable. Altuve's underneath it. No problem. Out number 3. Soft fly ball for the final out of the inning. 1-2-3 inning for Fromber. Much better than the first inning. How many pitches now does Fromber have? I didn't get to see it. The information on the screen disappeared before I could see it, but it's all good. Top of the 3rd coming up. We have completed 2 innings. Astros down 1-0. Jake Myers will be at the plate in just a moment, followed by Mauricio Dubon, and then Jose Altuve. Double check the information on the screen, make sure it's right. Top of the 3rd, should be, and it is. Excellent. Michael Wacha, 22 pitches in 2 innings. His first inning went really smoothly, only 7 pitches, all strikes. Second inning, he had to work a little bit harder. 15 pitches, a double for Walker. Worked to count full with Zach DeCenzo. Jeremy Pena is sitting there looking at a tablet, maybe trying to figure out how he hit that fly ball. Here's the first pitch to Myers. Check swing, but ump says you went around. Strike 1. One hit now for both teams. Here comes the next pitch to Myers. That was not a bad strike. He just got around on it too late. It flies out into the right field stands. 0-2 is the count against Myers. Myers batting much better against right-handers this year. 273, but just 200 against lefties. Here's the next pitch from Wacha. Just a little high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A close take by Myers. Here comes the next one. High, just above the zone. Fouled off. Let's see if he can work this count back. That would be good. He does on that one. 2-2. Sinker outside. By a couple of inches. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Ooh, that one's in there. No, you gotta swing at that one, Myers. That was a beautiful changeup, 81 miles an hour, right in there. Myers took it. I don't know what kind of audio they've got in Kansas City for that strikeout. But whatever it was extremely annoying. Here comes the next pitch. Dubon goes after the very first pitch and hits it out in right field, an opposite field hit. So we have ourselves another base runner with one out. Second hit of the game for the Astros. Good swing by Dubon. Just went after that one, aggressive on the first pitch. Lined it out into right field. And that brings up my hero, Jose Altuve. Here comes a pitch. Check swing on the outside, and he does hold. Ball one. Good take from Altuve. 30 pitches now for Wacha. Here's the next pitch in the dirt. Good take again by Altuve. 2-0. Two balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch. A little high. Beautiful take right there. That was only about 2.5 inches out of the zone. Ball three. Altuve showing some good patience here at the plate. Not swinging at that stuff out of the zone. Here comes the 3-0. That's right in there. The top of the zone. Barely a strike. Altuve seemed to be taking all the way on that pitch. Three balls, one strike. Here's the pitch. That's also in there, taken for strike two, full count. Three balls, two strikes. Here's the pitch to Altuve. Gets up on foul. 83 mile per hour changeup right in the zone. Dubon was off to the races. He'll have to jog back to first. I've been waiting for Altuve to have a really big hit these past few games. He's had multiple opportunities with runners on, even bases loaded. Right now we have a runner on first. Here's the 3-2. That's a ball four. Dubon was running. I don't know why the catcher came up throwing. Altuve walks. We have runners on first and second. Despite his lackluster performance at the plate, Alvarez has one of the most RBIs of any player on the team. First pitch to him is out of the zone, ball one. Here comes the next pitch from Wacha. That was ripped sharp but foul down the first baseline by Alvarez, and that'll be strike one. Evens the count, 1-1. He just got around on it too early. Didn't wait on it like Walker did. Alvarez licking his lips literally right now. Here's the next pitch. The umpire was not generous to him that time. That ball was low and inside, and he called it a strike. Clearly outside of the zone. 1-2. 40 pitches now coming from Wacha. Here it is. This one's hit into left field, opposite field, but right to the left fielder. Out number 2. Runners do not advance. Jordan gets the bat on the ball, but hits it right to the left fielder. So it gets around too early on the changeup, and then a little late on the next one. Isaac the ball Paredes comes to the plate. Batting .350 this season with runners in scoring position. Can't really complain about that. If you're batting .350 with runners in scoring position, if all of the Astros were batting like that, they'd have a very, very different position in the standings right now. 81-mile-per-hour changeup in the top of the zone, strike 1. Altuve on first, Dubon on second, waiting to see if Paredes can drive them around. He definitely can. Let's see if he will. He calls timeout here. 0-1 the count. All right, he's back in the box. Here comes the pitch from Waka. This is hit hard to right field. Is it going to get down? No, it's not. Running catch by the right fielder for a line drive snag. Out to number 3. Astros strand 2 runners on base. They pick up another hit, but that's pretty much it. We go into the bottom of the 3rd. Astros still down 1-0. Turnell says, who you think win? Who I think will win? Well, I think that the Astros will win, and I know that they have the ability to win. They should win, actually, based on who is pitching and the skill at the plate. But of course, the Astros have not been living up to their ability at the plate. So who knows? Who knows how this game will go? The good thing about that last inning is that they made Waka work much harder. His pitch count really got up there last inning, the top of the 3rd. He started to show signs of loss of control. Was giving up some harder strikes on the ball. Not getting the strikeouts and the good pitches like he was from the very first part of the game. So I expect the Astros to come out hitting him in the next inning. We'll see. Fromber has been getting better as the game progresses, so it seems that the pitchers right now are opposite. Speaking of Fromber, he delivers the first pitch to Drew Waters, and it's right in there. A curveball for strike 1. 0-1 is the count. Waters batting .302 this season. Here's the pitch. Just a little low. A sinker, 94 miles an hour. And it counts even 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one's grounded straight to Paredes at third, who scoops it up. Fire is over. Good, solid, straight throw to Walker for out number 1. And Paredes has really impressed me over at third base. I know that that's a fundamental play right there. Basic ground ball, pick it up, make the throw to first. But he really does not only scoop the ball up really well, but he makes a good throw, chest high, just perfect, right on the money to Walker. Jonathan India is back up at the plate, his second appearance. He takes that one for a strike, a 91-mile-per-hour changeup. He walked in the first inning. Next pitch is in the dirt, 78-mile-per-hour pitch. 1-1. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. This one's hit out into center field. Myers is back, and he catches it right on the edge of the warning track. A nice drive by India, but nothing that Myers can't handle, and that's out number 2. Ground out and a fly out so far. Bobby Witt Jr. is due up in just a moment. Here's the first pitch to Witt. Oof. Low and away. Strike 1 with that swing and miss. 1 for 1 today is Witt with a double. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Right in there, 95-mile-per-hour sinker. Strike 2. Farmer jumping out ahead in the count here. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Ooh. Change up low. Ball 1. Got a handful of people listening in. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. I really do. Channels like this early on require so much time and effort to get it going and build it up. So I thank you for your support. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Witt. He grounds that one to third. Paredes scoops it up. Here's the fire to first. And he's got him easy. Another play by Paredes that just looks so easy. How does he make it look so freaking easy? We go to the top of the 4th, guys. We are 1/3 of the way through this game. 1-0. It looks like a continuation. It literally looks like a continuation of yesterday's game. The Royals getting a run on a sacrifice and pitching around the Astros, not allowing them to score. But I will say this, there has been one change. Through the first 3 innings of this game, the Astros, when facing Michael Wacha on the mound, it has literally gone like this. The first inning, Wacha threw 7 pitches, all strikes. Altuve grounded out, and then the next 6 pitches were strikeouts. Alvarez swinging and Paredes looking. It was that kind of an inning. In the second inning, the Astros threatened a little bit. Walker got a double, the first hit for the Astros, but then the other batters couldn't do anything. First batter was out, Walker doubled, and then the next 2 batters got out. But that was an improvement over the first inning. The third inning, we got 2 runners on. Dubon singled on his very first hit. Altuve walked. We had two runners on, first and second. And then the Astros couldn't do anything after that. But they were hitting the ball. That's the thing. They were hitting the ball. They were flying out, but they were hitting the ball. And Witt had to throw a ton more pitches. Right now, he is at 42, I believe. That's correct. 42 pitches so far. 42 pitches in 3 innings. So he has progressively had to throw more and more each inning. And the Astros have done better and better. Jeremy Pena comes to the plate. He hits it up again. Is it going to be playable? No. It goes back behind the screen and out of play for strike 1. Pena was looking at the tablet earlier. He flew out to the infield his last at bat. No doubt he was looking at that and trying to figure out what he could do to straighten that out. Let's see if he can get on top of that right now. Something's going on with the game here. trainer comes out to talk to Jeremy Pena. Not sure what's going on. I guess we'll find out in just a moment. He's talking about his hand. That was interesting. Espada and the trainer going back to the dugout. Pena's going back to the plate with an 0-1 count, but apparently he had something bothering him with his hand a little bit. Espada wanted to take a look at it. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Waka. Low and outside in the dirt. 1-1. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Grounded back to the pitcher. The pitcher scoops it up, fires over to first. Not a great throw, but it gets the job done. Pena grounds out to the pitcher. Fly out to the infield, and a tapper or ground out to the pitcher for Pena so far this game. Christian Walker, his first plate appearance with Michael Waka, he doubled to see if he can do something again. Off-speed pitch, outside and low, taken for ball 1. Really nice, smooth stroke for Walker. Just waited on that changeup to come in earlier. This one's low in the zone. A cutter, 89 miles an hour, fouled at the plate for strike 1. It counts 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the next pitch to Walker. Little low and outside. Good take. Fastball, 95 miles an hour. Just a couple inches out of the zone. Good eye. 2-1. Here comes the pitch. That's right in there and grounded straight to the shortstop. It should be no problem for Witt Jr., and it is. Out number 2 as he throws out Walker. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate. This will be Waka's 50th pitch of the game. I was expecting this inning to go a lot differently, but Waka kind of got his stuff together so far and has 2 outs. Here comes the pitch to Yainer, in the dirt almost. Fastball down and away. 1-0. Here comes the delivery. Another one low and away on that slider. 2 good takes by Yainer. 2-0 is the count. Here comes the next pitch. Right in the top of the zone, and Yainer skies it up. The right fielder is in, and he will take it. And that's out number 3. 2 flyouts for Yainer in this game. Several flyouts for the Astros. That's it for the top of the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th. The Astros still down 1-0. Fromber will be back up on the mound in a second. His pitch count has improved a lot. He's doing slightly better than Waka at the moment, with 39 pitches so far. Let's see if he can get out of this inning without getting to 50. That would be 10 or less. Salvador Perez is due up. He's 0 for 1 against Fromber in this game. Mel Wood, thank you for coming back, Mel. It's really nice to see you, and thank you for the question. Mel says, are you feeling well? I know the game is not super exciting, but you're whispering. Yeah, you're right. I'm feeling all right. I'm relaxed, and I'm talking very gently today because I'm considering someone else who's nearby resting, and that's why I'm talking so gently, almost whispering. I'm sorry if it's putting you to sleep. maybe I won't be too excited. I'm kind of muted like the game. The game itself is kind of muted, isn't it? It's just one of those days, one of those games, right? I think so. Kind of reminds me of when I was growing up and I would listen to NPR. They had this program on there called, I think it was called Sounds of Space. And the host of that show, he played what's called like space music with maybe like ambient type music. Just wonderful stuff to listen to when you're going to sleep or you're lying down, relaxing or meditating or whatever. And this is kind of how he would talk. Hello, space fans, wherever you may be. Tonight on the show we have for you. That's how he would talk. So it's not too different than how I'm talking right now. I hope it doesn't put you to sleep. Looks like McCullers is getting close to another start. Looking forward to seeing him back on the mound for the Astros. First pitch to Perez is a swing and a miss. 0-1. He popped up to Dubon, his last at bat. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Grounded foul. 0-2. Sometimes I miss those days. When I was a kid and I collected baseball cards, I used to put my cards out on the table like they were playing in the field. 97 mile per hour sinker fouled away by Perez. Count stays 0-2. But I had this drawing table that my parents got me. And I actually made a baseball diamond on it. I put my baseball cards on it to create kind of a baseball game. Well, there's a strikeout for Fromber right there. A beautiful curveball in the dirt. Swing and a miss. Out number 1. Perez makes no effort to run to first base. Yiner's able to pick the ball up and tag him. For those of you who don't know the rules about that, if you get a strike 3 and you step out of the box, then you're officially out. Mark Canha is at the plate, takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. So, here's the next pitch. Right on the inside, good pitch, beautiful pitch by Fromber, 0-2, working quickly here. I'm trying to talk him. Okay, maybe now I have a chance. Canha calls a timeout, but basically when you have 2 strikes and you get a third strike, swinging, and it's in the dirt, you have an opportunity to run to first base. If you step out of the box and you're not running to first, then you're automatically out. You don't have the opportunity to change your mind and run to first. Wow, Canha goes down swinging. 3 straight pitches and a strike 3. Another strikeout for Fromber. Suddenly Fromber's just in lockdown mode here. 2 outs, 2 up and 2 down. Michael Garcia comes to the plate, and Fromber is quickly up and ready to go. Here's the pitch. He bunts. Fromber, he's going to be out. A bunt out. Garcia bunted the ball and ran, and he hit the ball. How do you like that? Fromber does it. He gets out of there with just 46 pitches. Heck yes. Garcia bunted the ball, and he hit the ball with his leg when he ran to first, and he was called out by the umpire. 2 strikeouts and a bunt out. Fromber gets out of that inning with about 7 pitches. I was hoping that he would keep it under 10, and he did it. Excellent. Fromber getting better and better as the game progresses. That's what I like to see. Michael Wacha will be back up on the mound in just a second. He's given up 2 hits to the Astros, and we've had runners in scoring position a couple of times, but no huge threat yet. Zach DeCinzo is due up to bat in just a moment, followed by Jake Myers and then Mauricio Dubon. top of the fifth, guys. Top of the fifth inning coming up. We are finished with the first 4 innings. We're getting really close to being halfway finished this game already. It just seems to be quietly trucking on through, right? What are they showing on the screen? Baseball cardigans. Strange looking stuff. It looks super sweaty. Alright, the Cinzo is due up in just a moment. 52 pitches for Waka, starting at the beginning of this inning. The Cinzo's a big dude. I think he's 6'6". He's 4 inches taller than I am. He looks like he's really fit too. He should be able to hit the ball hard. But not swinging like that. He does kind of a half swing and misses that 80-mile-per-hour changeup. Strike 1. Next pitch is just inside. Whew, that was close, but ball 1. Mel says, good to know you're well and being considerate of your friend. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it's a lot of strange stuff is changed. 2-1 with that ball against DeCinzo, but could share some of that some other time. Another one outside. Good take. DeCinzo with the good at-bats. His last at-bat in this one, he's worked the count full. Now he's 1 strike away from getting a full count here, but hopefully he doesn't even get there. He does. He fouls it off. But it was in the zone, so he should have been swinging. 94-mile-per-hour fastball. 2 full counts for DeCinzo. He's taking the pitches outside the zone and swinging at the strikes. So his at-bats are quality. Let's see if he can work the magic here with the 3-2 pitch. Here it comes. Right in the zone again. Another 95-mile-per-hour fastball, and he fouls it off. Same result, into the crowd on the first base side. If he can get around on that early. Mr. Baseball's on deck. Jake Myers himself. Here's the pitch to DeCinzo. 1 hopper hit to Bobby Witt Jr., and he throws it way over the head of the first baseman. DeCinzo gets himself. Is that going to be an error? Probably going to be an error, not a hit. But that was a 1-hop line drive shot to Bobby Witt Jr. He backhanded it. It just made an absolutely terrible throw. Perez had to come off the bag and jump up to catch it. And DeCinzo made it. They say it's a hit. Myers bunts to third. It goes up in the air and then foul. But DeCinzo's on first with no outs. The Astros actually have a leadoff runner with no outs. I think we have a comment from Croker. Yeah, Croker, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Hello from Aberdeen, Scotland. Wow, you're in Scotland. That's awesome. The Astros are in suck mode again. Well, we'll see how it goes this game. Yesterday they were in suck mode, that's for sure. At least on the offensive side, I'm sorry. Defense was locked down. Fouled away by Myers. 0-2. They gave DeCinzo a hit on that, oddly enough. 3 hits for the Astros now. Jake Myers with the 0-2 count. No outs. Waka is back up on the rubber, and he looks for the call. He's got what he wants. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. That was a good pitch. 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Just in the upper outer corner. Myers could not get the bat on it. And there is that annoying sound that they play in Kansas City whenever somebody strikes out for the opposing team. Mauricio Dubon had one pitch earlier and he singled it into the right field, opposite field. Waka throws over to first base. DeCenzo's back. First pitch to Dubon is on the way. He swings at that one up and in, 93 mile per hour fastball, but foul tipped into the catcher's glove. Oh, and 1 is the count. Here's the pitch. This one's hit up the middle. It's off the pitcher. He's not going to be able to go to second. Second baseman comes in and snatches it up and goes to first to get Dubon. DeCenzo will be safe at second. So we have our runner in scoring position with Jose Altuve at the plate and 2 outs. The crowd gives him the standard welcome. Pretty sure that the crowds don't boo all these other guys like they do Altuve. Wherever Correa is, or Springer, even Bregman. I bet you these guys don't get booed anymore with their other teams, but yet Altuve continues to get booed. It really bothers me. If one player doesn't deserve it, it's him. Here's a 1-0 pitch. A little high. Altuve's taken 2 straight balls. Good eye so far. Is it his birthday today? They said something about Altuve's birthday. Is that today? We'll see. Little outside. Wow. Crowd boos on that one. It was like 1 inch outside the zone. 3 balls and no strikes. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Altuve goes after that one. Fouls it back for strike 1. That was in the zone. Looks like he was thinking that he would not take all the way on that one. He's trying to make something happen. I agree. Situation like that with 2 outs, runner on second. 3-0 count. If it's close, you swing away. Here's the next pitch. Right, that's right in there for strike 2. 94 mile per hour fastball. Count is full. Come on, Altuve. Even a single could score DeCenzo right here. Here's the pitch. Fouled away. That was also a 95 mile per hour fastball right in there. 70 pitches now for Waka. Altuve calls timeout for a moment, gets his gloves adjusted, lets the ump know he's ready to go. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Right in there, he takes it for strike 3. 94 mile per hour pitch right on the inside edge, inside lower corner. That was unfortunate. So we have another stranded runner on second, and we go into the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Royals. 3 hits for the Astros, 1 hit for the Royals. No errors. Up to about double digits now in active listeners. Thank you so much for being here. Kind of surprised that I've got the 8 likes, considering the view count hasn't been too high on this game so far. So I do appreciate you all taking the time to like that video, or like the live stream. Framber Valdez at 47 pitches is due up. on the mound in just a moment, facing Hunter Renfroe, who's 0 for 1 today, batting 172 for the season. Pasquantino is on deck, followed by Fermin. Every time I see his name, I think of the word vermin. That would be a terrible family name, wouldn't it? This is Mr. Vermin. Maybe I should come up with a poll for you guys. We're back to the game. Fromber's got the ball. He's up on the mound. Hunter Renfroe comes to the plate. First pitch to him is on the way in just a moment. And here it comes. Low and inside, ball in the dirt. 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Way outside and high on that curveball, 2-0. This one was tapped foul at the plate. Yonder grabbed it and tagged him, but the umpire says it was foul, so that'll be strike one. 2-1 is the count against Renfroe. Well, that was in the bottom of the zone. Let's take a look at that replay. Ooh, it was barely there. It touched maybe just a hair of the zone, and that's strike two. 2-2. Here comes the pitch. This one's grounded straight at Paredes, who picks it up and fires over to first. Another beautiful throw, and out number one. There's a poll for you guys. How far will the Astros go? The World Series, the ALCS, the Division Playoff Series, or no playoffs? What do you think? Curious to know how you feel about this season. Here's the next pitch coming into Vinny Pasquantino, a little outside for ball one. One ball, no strikes. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off. 95-mile-per-hour sinker, and that evens the count. Pasquantino is 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Here comes the pitch. Too far inside on that sinker. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 pitch is crushed to right field. That might be back and gone. It is. Just a few seats beyond the wall and less than 10 feet from the foul pole. Vinny Pasquantino thumps Framber Valdez for another run. 2-0 Royals. Changeup inside. Pasquantino just went down and got it. and put it out into the right field stands. Freddie Fermin comes to the plate. First pitch, he grounds straight up the middle. Pena comes over and gets it, fires to first. Good play. Out number 2. 2-0. 2 hits for the Royals with 2 runs, averaging 1 run for every hit. The Astros averaging 0 runs no matter how many hits they get in the past 2 games. That brings up Drew Waters. Here's the first pitch, just a little outside, but catches the edge of the plate for strike 1. 0 for 1 today with a ground out. Second pitch is a swing and a miss. That was a crazy curveball by Valdez. Went way inside and low. 0-2 is the count. Next pitch will be the 60th of the game for Fromber. And here it comes. Grounded back to Valdez. He fields it. He makes a lob over to Walker. Wow, good play by Valdez to grab that one, spin around, and throw it to first. I always kind of hold my breath a little bit whenever Fromber makes a play like that, because you never know what he's going to do. But he puts it together, and we go into the top of the 6th. 2-0, Royals over the Astros. 3 hits for the Stros, 2 for the Royals. Yordan Alvarez due up in just a moment, followed by Isaac Paredes and Jeremy Pena. Michael Wacha is at 71 pitches right now. Double check the live stream info. It is correct. Top of the 6th. Should be back from the break in just a moment. Yordan is 0 for 2 today. He has a swinging strikeout. And a fly out. A line out. Pretty interesting. They're showing some stats of Alvarez and Altuve, how they were batting when they had a hitter's count. More balls than strikes. Both of them were hitting amazingly well. Almost 400 for Altuve and over 400 for Alvarez, but this year, quite the opposite. And speaking of that, swing and a miss on an 80-mile-per-hour changeup for Alvarez, strike 1. Here comes the next pitch to Alvarez. Inside, almost clipped him. Ball 1. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Outside by a good foot. Changeup, missing the mark. 2 balls, 1 strike. I wouldn't mind seeing that changeup right in the zone. Alvarez, if he could just wait on it, he could crush it. 95 miles per hour right in the zone, in the bottom of the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So he throws it where I wanted it. He just didn't throw the pitch that I wanted. Even count, 2-2. Here's the pitch. Grounded back up past the pitcher. Witt Jr. scoops it up and fires over to get Yordan at first. He grounds out for the first out of the inning. Yordan not nearly fast enough to beat that. Pena perhaps could have turned that into an infield hit. Paredes has struck out looking and lined out today. Here comes the first pitch from Waka. Wow, he hits that one straight through, a rocket right past the diving third baseman. Very first pitch. How do you like that? We have a one-out base runner. Paredes with his first hit of the game, and the Astros fourth. 94-mile-per-hour sinker right in the center of the zone. Just hit it right past the diving India at third base. Good strike there. A good strike on the ball. Jeremy Pena is back at the plate. First pitch is high. Good take, 81-mile-per-hour changeup. Pena trying to work out that nice level swing. He popped out and then grounded out. Here's the next pitch. Right in there, slider, swing and a miss. The count is even, 1-1. '80th pitch of the game coming for Waka. Ooh, low and away, but in there for strike two. 94-mile-per-hour delivery. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Low and away. Slider missing the mark, and that evens the count, 2-2. Come on, Pena. Here comes the pitch. Wow. 95-mile-per-hour pitch up and in. Pena was coming around, but then had to get out of the way. Fouled it off. Kind of a defensive swing there. Defensive check swing. Here comes another 2-2 pitch. Too low, ball 3. That was a good take. Just a couple inches too low. He started to go, but he held up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner on first, 1 out. Here's the pitch. High and outside. Ball 4. Pena's on first. Paredes goes to second. Christian Walker comes up to the plate. He had a double earlier. A one bouncer off the wall in left field. Pitching coach is going to have a little meeting on the mound with Waka and the catcher. Witt Jr. comes over to join the little powwow. Right in the middle of the lineup, Walker batting 5th. The hits for the Astros have been salted into the lineup. 4 different hitters having a hit. No one hitter dominating so far. It's nice to see the hits spreading out. I like it when I look at the Astros batting order and I'm seeing 1s and 2s and 3s all the way down the lineup. When everybody's producing, that's when things really start to happen. Here's the first pitch to Walker. He hits it hard to left field. Is that going to be gone? It might be a little foul. Wow, it is foul. Very first pitch, Walker launched. And it was easily gone into the upper deck, but it was foul by just about 10 feet. Strike 1, but man, what a swing. The crowd went a little crazy there. Pretty bothered by that one. That would have been a 3-run shot. Here comes the next pitch. In the dirt. Ball 1. That probably shook up the pitcher a little bit. 1 ball, 1 strike to Walker. Here comes the next pitch. That one's a little low, but it called a strike. It just barely touches the bottom part of the zone. Walker calls timeout, steps out of the batter's box. He's not very happy about that call. Not a great pitch to be swinging at, but it was in the lower part of the zone. The Royals and the Astros are actually 0 for 7 combined with runners in scoring position. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Long delay by Waka. 95 in the upper part of the zone, fouled away. Count remains 1-2. Wow, Waka at 88 pitches. He's almost at 90. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt, ball 2, 2-2. Top of the 6th. And Waka is about to throw his 90th pitch of the game. Two balls, 2 strikes on Walker. Runners on first and second. Here's the pitch. Outside, it's full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We have a full count. Big battle going on at the plate right now. Walker has already threatened with a home run once. It had the distance. Waka takes a step off the mound. Resets the pitch clock. Now he's back up on it. Here comes the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Good pitch by Waka. Breaking ball, low and away. Swing and a miss by Walker. Could have been ball 4. Probably couldn't have been more perfectly placed to get the swing. 2 away. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate. He taps this one to the right side. He might be able to get it. Did he get there in time? They say he's out. A little tapper to the right side, and first baseman ran over there to grab it. Pitcher ran over to cover the base. Just barely got there in time. Yainer couldn't beat the throw. If that had been Pena or Altuve or Myers, they would have been safe for sure. But Astros strand 2 more runners. That was an unfortunate turn of events. 2 runners on with 1 out, and they don't convert. So we go into the bottom of the 6th. 2-0 Royals. Hey Terrell, can you cover the Mariners game? Terrell, I would not cover the Mariners. Sorry, I'm not a fan of the Mariners. I'm only a fan of the Astros, and typically I don't cover even the playoff games. Somebody did tell me that I should consider covering the playoff games, every playoff game that I can, even if the Astros are not playing in that game, because it could help my channel. I understand that, and I've seen that some other live streamers have done that. Some other play-by-play callers have done that. They've called playoff games for other teams. I wouldn't say that I would never do it. It's just that my heart isn't in that. And to be honest, I don't necessarily think that it would help my channel so much, because if my focus is calling the Astros games, how would I get subscribers? Sure, it could help me get views and some likes, and perhaps even, help the YouTube algorithm a little bit. So in that regard, it could be useful. But I doubt it would gain me any long-term subscriber benefits to call games for other teams, even if they are playoff games. Plus, to be honest, I don't like the Mariners at all. They are a rival in the division. Fromber is back up on the mound facing Jonathan India. First pitch right on the outside edge, 92 miles an hour, strike one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to India, low and inside, ball one. But thank you for subscribing. I see your message there. Thank you for subbing. I appreciate that. You are subscriber number 290. So, arigato. Thank you. Swing and a miss. The 88 mile per hour changeup low, just below the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes to India. He calls for timeout. Shoots says Astros need to eventually trade a pitcher for another hitter. It would be nice to get somebody who's already hitting instead of somebody who just has potential to hit, somebody who is already proving they can hit. But how could they do that? Might have to lose Fromber to make that happen. It was a foul ball by India just now. Count remains 1-2. Here comes the next pitch from Fromber. That's in there. Strike three. Got him looking. Froze him up with a 96 mile per hour sinker fastball. Out number one. Man. .65 pitches for Fromber. Big difference between him and Waka. Waka's having to do a lot more work, but his team is winning 2-0. First pitch to Bobby Witt Jr. is outside for ball one. 1 for 2 today with a double. Something he was able to stretch because of his speed. Here comes the pitch in the dirt for ball one. I'm sorry, ball two. Here comes the next pitch for Valdez. Witt swings at that one and fouls it off on the right side. 96 mile per hour sinker. 2-1 is the count. Or take Gusto while his value is high. I guess you mean trade him away. I don't know. I don't know what kind of a hitter they could get for Gusto right now. The next pitch is inside for ball three. 3-1 against Bobby Witt Jr. Here comes the pitch from Valdez. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. 95 mile per hour sinker on the outside edge, and that evens the count 3-2. Seventieth pitch. Blah, blah, blah. Can't even speak. 70 pitches now for Valdez. This is the 71st. Tapped right back to the mound. Fromber Valdez picks it up, makes a bad throw to first, but Walker scoops it up. And he makes the play. But that one's barely enough to get to Fromber in time. That ball only went a few feet. Fromber played it quickly and made a quick throw. And Walker able to scoop it up 2 away. That brings up Salvador Perez. Salvi. He hits that one straight to Pena. Pena backhands it, fires it over. Good play. 1, 2, 3. 3 up and 3 down for Fromber. Good inning. 71 pitches through 6. Man, the Astros can't be losing games like this where they have solid pitching going on, giving up just 1 or 2 runs for the whole game. The pitching is just spot on. How sad is it to have a team with such awesome defense in every possible way? You've got great pitching. You've got great gloves. Everybody on the field practically is like a vacuum cleaner. Errors are down to the minimal. Even your relief pitching is locked down right now. So we don't even need great hitting. We just need average hitting. I think the MLB average for runs is like 4 runs per game. Astros didn't get a single one yesterday, and through 6 innings today, they still don't have a run. So think about that. That's 15 straight innings against the Royals without a single run. Just average hitting would mean that the Astros right now would have 2 runs, at least 2 runs, with just average hitting. They got to figure that out. Because, you know, the truth is that there's got to be something going on with the way they're doing their batting practice and their training. If you really think about it, because historically, the guys in this lineup, several of these guys in the lineup, they don't have bad numbers. Especially guys like Altuve and Alvarez. But when you start to look at some of the other guys in the lineup, like Paredes, Walker, Pena, even, if they were just playing average, they would be winning these games. Zach DeCinzo comes to the plate. He'll be the leadoff batter for the Astros this inning. Steven Cruz is apparently on the mound now for the Royals. He delivers the first pitch for a ball. Here comes the next pitch. 98 miles an hour, right in there. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. I don't know if I have Steven Cruz's picture or not, but we'll see. Yeah, I do have it. I will update that on the screen in just a second. 1-1 is the count to DeCinzo. Fouled away, 97 mile per hour fastball, strike 2. Steven Cruz. Next pitch is fouled off. Move this around on the screen and get it straightened out a little bit. There we go, that's better. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Grounded foul again. DeCinzo has fouled off several pitches this at bat. No runners on, no outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. This is hit up the middle. Is it going to get down? No, it's going to be up. Center fielder catches it. A line drive out. DeCinzo goes down. 1 away. Jake Myers comes to the plate. Oh for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. Here comes the first pitch to Jake. He grounds that to shortstop. Witt scoops it up. Makes a better throw to first than he did last time. And that's out number 2. 1 pitch to Myers, 1 out. At least he didn't strike out this time. Minor improvement. Strikeout or ground out? Which do you prefer? Nobody likes to strike out. But nobody likes to get out either. Mauricio Dubon comes to the plate with 2 outs and no runners on. here in the top of the 7th. Here's the pitch. Way outside. Gets away from the catcher. Ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Way up and in. Check swing, but it looked a little defensive. They say he went around, and that's strike 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. High and outside, just by a little. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody going in the bullpen for the Astros right now. Here's the 2-1 pitch. 2-2 swing and a miss. Right in the middle of the plate. 96 miles an hour. He couldn't touch it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. This is grounded on the right side, picked up by the second baseman. He fires it over to first for out number 3. 1-2-3 inning for Steven Cruz. No problem for him. We go into the bottom of the 7th. Astros with just 2 more opportunities. "16 straight innings now without a single run for the Astros against the Royals." The Royals. I wonder why nobody's watching this game. Almost nobody. Difficult to say. If the Astros were playing the Dodgers right now, there would be a ton of people watching, I believe, following along, liking the video. Some funny highlights they're showing on the MLB channel right now. Pretty good stuff. Let's see what we got on the poll. How far would the Astros go? Right now it's even between World Series, ALCS, and no playoffs. That's quite a divide. 7 votes, 1 person saying division playoff series. So it looks like it's kind of either all or nothing. Most people think it's all or nothing. Funny. Framber Valdez back up on the mound here in the 7th. 72 pitches. Here comes the 73rd to Mark Canha. Right on the outside, 78 miles an hour. Strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That one's hit up the middle, and Myers can't play it. He's going to have to grab it on the bounce. Runner on first with no outs. Pinch runner comes in the game for Canha. Miguel Garcia is due up. Here comes the first pitch to Garcia. He grounds it at the plate for strike 1. 91 mile per hour changeup. 0 for 2 today so far for Garcia. Foul out and a ground out. pinch runner on first is taking some big leads. Fromber throws it over to first to get him back. The crowd gives the boos. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Garcia. Right in there. 93 mile per hour pitch. For strike two. 0-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Almost in the dirt there. 95 mile per hour sinker. Ball one. One ball, two strikes. And the runner is off. Yiner throws. Do they get him? They say he's safe. Garcia strikes out on the play, so there'll be one out. We'll take a look at the replay here. That was pretty close. Throw by Diaz, not so great. Pena had to play it on the hop. They're discussing a little something there because Jeremy Pena wanted to see a replay. Whenever the runner was sliding into second, his hand went into Jeremy Pena's foot. Pena thought he got the tag, but the umpire is discussing with the coach because he says you can't block the bag. They're going to see if it might be an interference call. We'll see. Yeah, Pena's foot was right in front of the bag. Tolbert's hand, the runner, his hand went right into Pena's foot. But they're doing a replay and they're taking a look at it right now. So they're debating right now about, number one, was he safe or not? And number two, was it interference because of Pena's foot being in front of the bag? Because it looks like if it's not interference, he's out because his hand did not get on the bag before Pena tagged him. So it comes down to, is it interference or not? Paredes has his glove on his head as he's relaxing and waiting. Okay, they're going to keep the safe call. Tolbert is going to be safe. I don't know how. They didn't call interference, but I don't quite understand it. They called him safe. And they say there's no interference and he's safe. But he was clearly out. So the only way that he could be safe is if they called interference, and they didn't do that. I don't quite understand it. But we have a runner on second. Fromber comes off the mound on the very first pitch to the next batter. Before he throws it, he comes off the mound. Fake throw to second. Here comes the pitch to Hunter Renfroe. Outside. One ball, no strikes. We have one out, runner on second. Two ground outs for Hunter Renfroe today. Here's the 1-0 pitch to him. 80 pitches now for Fromber. This is hit really hard out into left field. Altuve's all the way over, and the ball's off the wall, just barely in foul territory. Altuve was all the way over there. Man. Another one not too far from being a home run. Apparently the wind is blowing in from the left field, so that one helped out Fromber. That ball is outside for a 2-1 count. Two and one count. Here comes the pitch to Renfroe. This is hit up the middle. Myers is right there. He catches it and brings it in. The runner stays on second base. 2 away. Vinny Pasquantino comes to the plate with 2 outs and a runner on second. First pitch to him is grounded foul for strike 1. His last at bat, he had a homer. Solo home run versus Valdez. The only run that the Royals have scored this game that was not, actually in this series, that wasn't a sacrifice. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Hit high in the air. Myers is back to get it. Should have it no problem, and he does. He puts it out for the 3rd out. Puts it away for the 3rd out, and the Astros get out of that inning. Despite the long delay with the review. We go into the top of the 8th. Royals over the Astros 2-0 right now. Astros with 4 hits, the Royals with 3. No errors. For those of you following along, listening, thank you so much for being here. I know that it's not a very exciting game to be calling today. But once again, even though we don't know the outcome of the game yet, being down 2-0 to the Royals is not a big deal. The Astros could easily get out of this and win the game. Still a good chance for them to do that. We've got good pitching going on. We've got good relievers that are ready to go. Just need a few key hits. Got 9 likes on the live stream right now. My minimal goal for every live stream is 10. My preferable goal right now is 20, and I've been able to get to that twice, I think, over the past month. I appreciate you guys doing that. Looking forward to the day when I'm back where I was during the peak of last season, where my views were getting close to 2,000 views per video, and 50 to 60 likes per video. A few dozen people at least viewing simultaneously. It'd be nice to be back at that point. But for now, if all you guys can do is like the video, I'd appreciate it. For those of you who can, you can buy me a coffee. There's actually a link. I have it on screen. It's very simple. buymeacoffee.com/Akia. Akia is a Japanese word, and it just means an empty house. If you follow that link, you'll see some pictures of the old house that I bought here in Japan. It's a house that I'm trying to renovate. I have been renovating. My hero is at the plate, Jose Altuve. He takes the first pitch, a little high, 95-mile-per-hour pitch. Strike 1. John Schreiber is in the game for the Royals. Next pitch is fouled back by Altuve. Strike 2. 0-2. He loses his helmet. John Schreiber. This one's hit out the left field. It should be a playable ball for the left fielder, and it is. Altuve flies out for the first out of the inning. Nothing doing for Altuve today, just quietly grounding out, flying out. Nothing really going on. Jordan comes to the plate, grounds it to the right side. Easily thrown out at first base. One pitch, one out on Alvarez. That's 2 away. Altuve and Alvarez quietly going down. Fly out and ground out. Isaac Paredes comes to the plate. Just barely misses high, 94 miles an hour for ball 1. Umpire called that one a strike on Altuve. That one was basically in the same spot. Nobody going to the bullpen right now. Frommer might be back up in the 9th inning. That'd be awesome. What if he had a complete game? What a tragedy that would be for Valdez to pitch a complete game, 9 innings. And give up only 2 runs and lose the game. 1 ball, 1 strike on that foul ball. Here comes the next pitch to Paredes. That's right in there. 94 mile per hour sinker. Beautiful pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I still need 10 more subs to get to 300. To unlock some other options on YouTube, I need 500 subs, so I still need about 200 more. Subs recently have been very slow, even though I've been doing the live streams consistently. Way high, 95 mile per hour pitch, way out of the zone. 2-2 is the count. Next pitch is hit down the right field side, and it's a hit. Isaac Paredes has himself another double, opposite field all the way to the wall. Right fielder has a little trouble getting that in. How do you like that? Paredes with a double. Let's take another look at that pitch. Right on the outside corner. Just a nice strike by Paredes to go opposite field. Just barely bounced fair and went into foul territory. Nice double there. Isaac Paredes with the 2-out double. Jeremy Pena comes up. Here's the pitch. This is grounded right back to the pitcher. It looks like he's going to beat that. That's an infield hit for Pena. Bounces off the pitcher. Witt comes in to grab it, but he doesn't even make a throw. Runners are going to be safe on 3rd and 1st. Runners on the corners. Schreiber tried to grab it with his hand, and he couldn't quite get it. That would have been out 3 for sure. But now we've got runners on the corners. 5 hits for the Astros now. Back-to-back hits. Christian Walker comes to the plate. Man, Walker earlier crushed one that was long gone, but it was foul by less than 10 feet. Here's the first pitch to him. 94 miles an hour. He comes around on that, but doesn't get the bat on it. Strike 1. Man, Walker could be the hero again right here with 1 swing of the bat. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch from Schreiber. Right in the middle of the plate. 95 mile per hour pitch. Strike 2. 6 hits for the Stros. No runs yet. How about a 7th hit with 3 runs on the board? How about that? Here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside, good take. 95 miles per hour. Missing the mark by about half a foot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3. Got him. Got him swinging. Christian Walker strands our runners. That was our best opportunity right there so far. We go into the bottom of the 8th. Astros still down 2-0. 6 hits for the Astros this game. Nary a run. I apologize, guys. If it were up to me, that would have been a 3-run shot. Not a strikeout. But everything happens for a reason, right? Everything happens for a reason. You know, if the Astros do lose this game, I feel like there's going to be a lot more heat and pressure. I think fans, I won't even say I think. I know that Astros fans are just tired of the lack of hitting. They're just tired of it. They need consistency. And it's not that the players in the lineup are bad hitters, because like I said before, and I've said several times, if they're just playing their average ball, they would be doing better than what they're doing right now. And yet they are not. But you can't blame that on just the players. You have to look at the system. Now think about the Astros pitching system. Their pitching coaches, their pitching staff. Look at what they're accomplishing right now. It's got to be demoralizing for these pitchers to come in and do such an amazing job, and the rest of their team can't back them up. You've literally got one guy on the mound, just one guy on the mound right now through essentially 7 full innings. He's only given up 2 runs. He's still on the mound right now. It's in the bottom of the 8th. And he's still in the game. And you can't give him any run support. Nine batters the Astros have. 9 different guys to come up and try to get runs, and none of them have been able to do it and support Valdez this game. Furman is at the plate. First pitch was a ball. He hits the second one straight up into the air. Myers gets underneath it for out number 1. Shoot says Astros need a leadoff hitter. We need hitters, period. Especially when we have runners on base. We need some timely hitters, people who can actually hit with runners in scoring position. Drew Waters is at the plate, fouls the first pitch off for strike 1. Taylor Scott is now warming up in the bullpen. The first reliever to be warming up for the Astros. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Waters swings and misses. 0-2. Fromber's still looking sharp right now. 88 pitches for Valdez. Here comes the pitch. Grounded to the right side. Walker scoops it up. Runs over to the base himself. 2 away. 2 up and 2 down in the bottom of the 8th. Jonathan India is at the plate now, 0 for 2 today. Here's the first pitch from Valdez. Curveball, a little low, ball 1. If Fromber got the quick out right here, he could reasonably come in and pitch the 9th inning if it got to that. A little high and outside on the curveball. 2 balls, no strikes. Here comes the pitch. Right in the top of the zone, called a ball. That could have gone either way. 3-0 is the count. Maybe this will be the last batter if he walks him. Here comes the pitch. That's in there. 91 mile per hour changeup, 3-1. Here comes the pitch. And he did walk him. 90 mile per hour up and out. 4 balls and 1 strike thrown to India. 2 out base runner. Fromber's still in the game. Bobby Witt Jr. comes to the plate again. 1 for 3 today. Here comes the first pitch. Way low and inside. Somehow Diaz was able to catch that one, keeping the runner from advancing. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's hit hard to right field, but DeCenzo comes in on it, and he puts it away for the 3rd out. Well, there we go. Framber Valdez gets through 8 complete innings, giving up 3 hits and 2 runs. Wow. Great performance by Valdez. The Astros just not giving him any run support. We go to the top of the 9th, the Astros' last opportunity to do something here, just down by 2. We have ourselves a replay of yesterday's game. Seriously. 17 innings of scoreless baseball against the Royals. Yesterday and today, the Astros pitching was tight. Giving up just 2 runs yesterday, giving up just 2 runs today. But the hitters just not showing up. Caesar, say it ain't so. Good to see you, Caesar. Thank you for being here. Shout out GEAUX STROS. Absolutely. Thank you for coming back. I wish I had better news to relay than what we're looking at right now, but that's just the way it is. I did notice just now that we've got 12 likes on the live stream. Thank you guys very much. I hit my minimal goal for the live stream, which is 10, and I just don't think that this game is going to get to 20 likes. This live stream won't, but I hit the minimal goal, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's take a quick look at the poll. 12 total votes. Whoa, that's too loud. 12 total votes. How far will the Astros go? 33% say the World Series. 25% say ALCS or no playoffs. And only 17% division playoff series. Interesting divide between everybody. Everyone seems to be completely divided. Almost a complete divide in every way on that poll. Carlos Estevez is now on the mound to face Yainer Diaz. Here comes the first pitch in just a moment, and it's on the way. 95 miles an hour right in the middle of the plate, taken for strike 1. Oh for 1, or 0-1 rather. Diaz hits this one out into center field. Should be no problem, and it is no problem. Out number 1. Whoops. I didn't realize that I had the the outs incorrect on the screen. I just fixed that. Zach DeCenzo comes to the plate. He does have 1 hit today. We need a couple of big swings. That's another thing. The Astros have not only refused to score runners, they have not been hitting the long ball. This is grounded to shortstop. Bobby Witt Jr. He fires over to first. Out number 2. 1 out away from losing the series to the Kansas City Royals and not scoring a single run in 18 innings. "53 innings. I'm sorry, 53 batters. Caratini is on. Jake Myers is going to sit out. The Batman Victor Caratini is going to get an opportunity to hit off of Carlos Estevez. What if Caratini comes up, hits a home run, and then the Astros lose 2-1? Then it'll be like, oh man, we finally got a guy in there who can hit the ball, but he didn't come in until the 9th inning. Should have been in the whole game. 2 for 7, Caratini versus Estevez for his career. Here comes the first pitch. He takes that one in the zone low for strike 1. 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Here comes the pitch. Fouled at the plate. Caratini went after it. 96-mile-per-hour fastball. Oh and 2. 1 strike away from losing miserably for 2 games in a row, guys. Unbelievable. Shadows of last year. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's it. There's not much to say about this. I'm going to give you guys a quick recap, and then we're going to be out of here because I'm not really interested in thinking about this game too much. I just want to put it behind. But let's see. Quick game recap. First inning. Canna hit a sacrifice fly to right field. Kansas City up 1-0. 5th inning, solo home run by Pasquantino. 2-0. And that's the tale of the entire game. Astros with 6 hits. They actually had twice as many hits as the Royals. But they have nothing to show for it. 18 innings of scoreless ball for the Stros against the Royals so far. After sweeping the Blue Jays, they're in danger of getting swept by the Royals. But that's it for now. The game coming up tomorrow is going to be a much earlier game. It's going to be an afternoon game. My plan is to be here for that. So we'll see. But pitching tomorrow is Hunter Brown. So once again, the Astros have another good opportunity to win just based on great defense. But we'll see if they can hit the ball. That's pretty much it for today. Will Bite says they need to put up a couple runs right here. Well, yeah, they did need to do that. You're right. But they just couldn't do it. Unfortunately, we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. But that's all for now. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for the support. And I'll just say